The left, the Democrats, the liberals, I mean, whatever you want to call them, the Biden campaign especially, all these different people, they really do wish that the world would just move on and forget all about the Alvin Bragg, Stormy Daniels hush money misdemeanor case. They really want it to go away. They got what they came for. They found a way to tar and feather Donald Trump, and they can now, I guess, forever always call the man, convicted felon Donald Trump or whatever. That's all they wanted. And really, that's all that they're going to get, because it's all downhill from here. And the way it looks, the more people that actually educate themselves on exactly what happened, this is really going to continue to backfire.
Trump was indicted in 4 separate cases, and his legal strategy was pretty clear. He wanted to push all of the trials past the election. That kind of effort to just use procedural motions, whatever, is that the justice system working, or is it the justice system being manipulated?
I would be happier, as someone who owns property in Manhattan, if the district attorney of New York County would take care of criminals who are making it impossible for citizens to walk in the streets and use the subway, to use his efforts to keep those people off the street, than to spend $5 million or $10 million of taxpayers' money trying Donald Trump on this nonsense. That's my view. But I, as a taxpayer in this country, resent using the system for your own personal self-aggrandizement. Now, if you didn't know...
And that's what you think the DA did in Manhattan?
That's what I think. I mean, if you look... You had to twist yourself into a pretzel to figure out what the crime was. He doesn't like him. New York City didn't like him for a while.
Trump.
Trump.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
What do I think of him? I think he was a good businessman, a real estate guy, and he was certainly terrific on The Apprentice.
What did you think of him as president of the United States?
I don't think that Donald ever should have been president, and I don't think that even Donald thought he was going to be president. I don't think so.
Here's the thing, man. Obviously, Judge Judy, she's not a Democrat. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she is a little bit. I mean, what she is, she's essentially a never-Trumper Nikki Haley supporter. She campaigned in the Northeast for Nikki Haley and with Nikki Haley. My point is, Judge Judy is not for Donald Trump, but she is an intelligent, very accomplished legal mind. She dedicated her entire adult life to our legal system, and she's absolutely disgusted by Alvin Bragg and the ridiculous, upgrade of expired misdemeanors used as political weapons. And make no mistake, man, this was absolutely a political weapon. I mean, the people responsible for it, they don't even hide it. They don't even try to hide it.
Wondering, whoever has this job, are they going to convict Donald Trump?
Look, that is the number one issue. We know he's investigating. And what I'll say is I was the first to announce against Cy Vance. I too have a lot of issues, which is why I decided to run. I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the Attorney General's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times. For the Muslim travel ban, for family separation at the border, for shenanigans with the census. So I know how to litigate with him. I also led the team that did the Trump Foundation case. So I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. And I think, it'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high profile case. And I've seen him up front and seen the lawlessness that he can do.
And you believe it should happen?
I believe we have to hold him accountable. I haven't seen all the facts beyond the public, but I've litigated with him, and so I'm prepared to go where the facts take me once I see them. And you're right, I'm being a little careful because I don't want to prejudge, and then I get in the office, and the first motion I get from the Trump team is I got to recuse myself because I prejudged the facts. But you're right, there's a lot out there in the public domain that is so troubling, and I say that not just as someone who's watching it, but as someone who's done these kind of cases, someone who's litigated with Donald Trump about fraud. And by the way, and won, right? We held him accountable in the Trump Foundation case. My office did the Trump University case. So I've seen a pattern of lawlessness over 20 years. And so I'm inclined to believe all I see in the public domain and know that and believe that there's a path forward there to make a case.
I mean, obviously, man, our system has some major flaws. I don't know what the cure is. I mean, maybe our lead law enforcement officers, whether it's sheriffs or prosecutors, maybe they should not be elected, or at least, maybe they should be elected like judges are. Judges don't really actually run on a party platform. That would probably make a lot more sense because, I mean, giving control to any party, any party having actual control of the way laws are enforced, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, we live in a time where party affiliation and party loyalty are more important than ethics, than really more important than anything to most of these people. And that just doesn't make a lot of sense regarding the application of law. And obviously, I mean, you should not, regardless of whether you run for a party or whatever, you shouldn't be able to run on the promise to destroy a person. Yet so many people have. And whether it's because of that or in spite of that, many of them have actually gotten elected. And whether it's legal or not, whether it's ethical or not, whether it's constitutional or not, they have treated it like some kind of mandate. But I mean, the thing about abusing politics like that, the thing about that kind of political action, you never know what the reaction is going to be. And I'm not sure that the Democrats really even thought about what the reaction would be. I mean, they're so used to doing whatever the hell they want to do, but I don't think they saw this backfire.
The trial in New York, the one he got convicted for, was the greatest fundraising bonanza ever. He was lagging behind Biden, and now he's pulled quite a bit ahead. That trial was the greatest reason people had to send their checks for 5, 10, 25, whatever dollars to Donald Trump. So I was always with you on the one in New York, the hush money trial. I don't think they should have brought that one. It was just always going to look like a sex case, and people were always just going to look at it that way. So anyway.
That case, the Attorney General's case in New York, frankly, should have never been brought. And if his name was not Donald Trump, and if he wasn't running for president, I'm the former AG in New York, I'm telling you that case would have never been brought. And that's what is offensive to people. And it should be, because if there's anything left, it's belief in the justice system.
I mean, look at it, man. It's even backfiring in the bluest, most insane, most Trump deranged places. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, Bill Maher, crying Adam Kinzinger. If these guys, if they can't get behind Democrat foul play, then something really has gone terribly wrong. I mean, someone has gone too far. I mean, I think that the left recognized that Cuomo was maybe a reasonable guy. I mean, they knew that they probably could only count on him or use him so much. That's probably why they got rid of him. But I mean, whatever your thoughts are on him, and I know he completely effed up COVID in every possible way. No matter what you think of him, he's absolutely right on this. He's right here. And I mean, everyone knows. Anyone with 2 brain cells left to rub together knows that if it was not Donald Trump, none of this garbage would have happened. And it shouldn't have happened, man, especially in New York. I mean, to Judge Judy's point, New York is literally rotting as fast as it can. The governor has put the National Guard in the subways. I mean, this is a place that downgrades 50% of felonies and drops at least that many of the lesser misdemeanors. I mean, the citizens don't feel safe, and their elected leadership just burned through millions and millions and millions of dollars for their get Trump political exercise, while actual criminals get to do basically whatever the hell they want.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is now dropping those charges for nearly all of those pro-Palestinian protests who stormed that building. They were arrested after taking over an academic building at Columbia University back in April.
Yeah, you saw Hamilton Hall right here live. So far, at least 30 are off the hook, while the others have to appear in court next month.
Chanley Painter has the story on that. Hey, Chanley.
Hey, guys. So at least 30 of the 46 cases against those campus protesters have been dismissed. It was on April 30th that Columbia students and staff members were arrested and charged with misdemeanor trespassing charges after anti-Israel protesters took over Hamilton Hall on Columbia University's campus, barricading themselves inside for hours before police with riot gear cleared the building, making dozens of arrests. The occupation was a significant significant escalation in the weeks-long demonstrations and encampment at the university protesting the war in Gaza. But now prosecutors claim they don't have enough evidence to support the charges or to show any property was damaged or that anyone was hurt, even noting how protesters wore masks to cover their faces and covered surveillance cameras during the incident. In a statement, the DA's office says it is continuing to pursue cases from both campuses, including all assaults against police officers. There are ongoing school disciplinary proceedings for the students who have had their case dismissed. And Columbia University declined to comment on the dropped cases, guys.
It's just not sustainable, man. I mean, if you are a complete and total crazy person, as long as you're the kind of crazy person that Democrats believe that they can count on to continue voting for them, to continue keeping them in power, then you can basically do whatever you want. I mean, it looks like literally anything you want. If you're an illegal, you're the new protected class, and you can basically assault law enforcement and just walk out the front door without bail. And if you're a radicalized anti-Semite, you can literally take over buildings, you can destroy property, you can terrorize other citizens just because they happen to be Jewish. I mean, and no one cares. I mean, no one in power cares, at least, but at least if they think that they can benefit, or if they think that you're for them. But if they think you're a danger, then or a threat to their power, then they will literally destroy you with 8-year-old business misdemeanors. I mean, it's remarkable stuff, man. And honestly, no matter what side you're on, no matter what you think about Donald Trump, it should absolutely scare the hell out of you. It should terrify every single one of us, man. But it seems like the only thing that really strikes fear into the heart of any of the crazy leftists is the fact that it's only making Trump stronger.
In the November election to come, which, let's just be honest, could be our last free and fair election due to the machinations of a certain political religious cult, the wealthiest Americans have a clear preference for the outcome: Donald Trump reinstalled as president. Mother Jones recently reported the following in an article about America's top donors heavily favoring Trump and the Republicans, which reflects something we've long known about rich conservatives: their disdain for taxation. Mother Jones reports that Donald Trump may have lost in the Manhattan court, where a jury convicted him of all 34 felony charges of falsifying business records. But, quote, there's one place he and his party appear to be winning: in the race to snag major cash from the richest families in America. Republicans raked in a whopping $508 million from the top 100, triple the Democrats' $169 million take. It's a lot of numbers and data, but it may leave you wondering, why would America's wealthiest families continue pouring money into a political party that has stripped itself of its dignity to fashion itself into a religious cult centered around a 78-year-old 37-count felon and adjudicated sexual abuser? Well, Michael Mechanic of Mother Jones, who authored the piece that I'm quoting from, has a pretty good guess. Biden and the Dems have spooked America's richest with their multiple and largely unsuccessful efforts to close abusive loopholes and raise taxes on corporations and the upper crust. That includes efforts to tax the unrealized gains of the mega rich. The paper profits on appreciated investments that are currently only taxed when the assets are sold.
Joy Reid, man. Do you think she actually believes any of this insanity? I mean, just take it line by line. She asks, why would anyone give to a party that has stripped itself of its dignity? Which is just the leftist way of describing their disappointment that no one actually believes them anymore. You know, they believe that because they have accused Republicans of everything, basically anything and everything, that the Republicans should just shrivel up and disappear. It doesn't matter that none of the things are true. And like I said, I mean, they got exactly what they wanted from this insanity. I mean, Joy Reid gets to talk about convicted felon and adjudicated abuser or whatever, say whatever she wants, basically, and she's not going to get sued. This really, that is what they were after all along. But what they didn't see coming was the fact that the only people that hear them talk anymore are already crazy leftists. And the problem with that is those people aren't going to vote for Joe anyway. They call him Genocide Joe, and they are freaking out. But anyway, I mean, she asked, why people would fund them. And she says it's because they've scared the hell out of people. And that's true, but it has nothing to do with Joe Biden trying unsuccessfully to close loopholes, which is a fantasy that hasn't happened. That's just completely pure lazy fantasy. The thing that people are scared of are the Joy Reids of the world. And really, if you want to see what really scares the hell out of people who actually care about the country, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Andrew Cuomo, again, he's got something actually reasonable to say.
his immigration policy was a mistake, right? I get the theory of the extreme left. We're a land of immigrants, let everyone come in, we all came as immigrants. I get it. But how you do it makes all the difference in the world, right? And to just open the borders with no plan, you don't know where they go, you don't know who's going to pay for them. They wind up in cities all across the country. New York has a couple of 100,000 in hotels, costing New York City a fortune. No jobs, no training, no help assimilating into society. So who did you even help, right? It was a great theory.
You have the person in your old job, the governor of New York, a Democrat, saying, "Don't come here." Those are her exact words. "Don't come here." And the mayor of New York saying, "This is going to ruin our city." I mean, if I didn't know who was talking, I would have thought they would be Republicans.
Yeah, but they didn't stop them, Bill. They could have stopped that.
Right.
The governor was saying she didn't want them outside of New York City. But the mayor could have said no. The governor could have said no. Many mayors and governors said no. But New York was more of the ideological left. All are welcome. And now we're finding out, 200,000 people later, you needed a plan. You needed to know what to do with these people. And that's where you failed.
I mean, Trump is up. He has a 23-point edge with Latinos on the issue of border security. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is another of those issues where the Democrats trying to be so un-racist are actually kind of racist because they don't seem to see Latinos as Americans.
Right.
Like, they care about border security too. They're here.
Yeah, man. I mean, these are the things that actually scare people. These are the reasons that people actually support basically anyone but Joe Biden at this point. I mean, they're tired of watching destruction. They're tired of watching their country decline. And everything that the left has done, everything that Joe Biden has done is a failure. The border is a failure. The economy is a failure. Foreign policy is a complete failure for literally not just us, but the entire Western world. Everything that they've touched has failed, aside from, their weaponization of justice against anyone that they think can stop them from continued failure. I mean, this is the thing that scares anyone. I mean, scares any reasonable thinking person, because this is the kind of thing that destroys nations, man, which is exactly the only thing that the left seems to be any good at. But that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.